Hi, in this session, we'll learn about tree map in Tableau. What is a tree map? Tree map represents the values in the form of rectangle boxes. The size and the arrangement of the rectangle boxes represents the measurable value. Means the bigger is the rectangle box, the higher is the measurable value. The smaller rectangle box will be the lower measurable value. And not only that, based on the arrangement also. So when you see it is in the top, top left is the high value and the bottom right is the lower values. Where do we use this one? We use this particular tree maps when you want to present the hierarchical data. Hierarchical data is, okay, region under region, we have a state-wise sales, or category under each category, the subcategories distribution. Okay, I want to look for this. So that is where exactly we use this particular tree map. Let us practically get into and we'll see how exactly we'll create a tree map. Okay, so I've just created this. Let me recreate it. See, if you have to create a tree map, the first thing what you need to do is, so when you look into this one for the tree map, the basic requirement is we should have at least one dimension and one measure. So I will take a region and I'll select the sales. Okay, a region is my dimension, the blue color, and the sales is my measurable value. So we need one dimension and measure. And you can see as soon as you select this one dimension and one measure, all those charts which can be created with one dimension and measures are being highlighted, others are being grayed out. Now I want a tree map. So which shows, this is this one, which has a collection of rectangle boxes. I'll just click on this. As soon as you click on this, you can see a tree map is being created. And we see that the west is standing in the top, okay, and the south is in the right bottom. And we have west with the bigger font. So that clearly says, okay, west is something like, leading, okay, region, which is having the highest sales. And when you see the west and east, they have almost the same sized box. The size of this particular box is the same in the case of west as well as in the case of the east region. But I can say based on the placement, I can say this is the first position and this is the second position. If it is in the top is the higher value, bottom is the lower value. When you compare with left and right, okay, left will have the higher value, this will have the lower value. Okay, so that means the west has a higher value than the central, also it has a higher value than the east region. If you want to display the labels, what is the sales value? We can just display, I can just take the sales value into the labels. You can see it just shows me west has done a sales of 7,25,000, whereas east is just 6,78,000, whereas central has done 5,01,000 and so on. Okay, fine, this is clear. The next thing what I want is, I want to say under each region there are many states. Okay, how the states is being contributed for the region, I want to look for that. That means in the west region, what are the state sales has been contributed? I want to look for that. And the east region, what are the states are there? I want to see that sales and the contribution, whether it's, okay, which state has given the highest sales for that particular region. Okay, which state has done the lower sales in that region? I want to have those kind of studies. So what I do, I want a state. I'll take the state here and I'll add this to the labels. I'll take the state and add to the labels. So as soon as you add the state to the label, you can see that, okay, that means under west region, all the states are coming here. Under east region, all the states are there. And central region, all the states. South region, these are the states. Okay, so in the labels, you can see west, California, this is sales. West, this one is the sales. Okay, so now what I want is, instead of repeating this west, 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 again, east, east, east. So I can take this particular, the color, the label, what is there for the text, that is a region. So I'll just try to place this into the color. So I can show with the color differences. So instead of repeating that as a labels here, so I'm showing as a legends. So this is your central region, this is your east region, south region, and the west region. And we see that the west region is in the highest quadrant, is the leader quadrant. Okay, so has done the highest sales. But out of this particular west region highest sales, we can see that the highest contribution is there from the California. So when you see this is the total sales of the west region, California alone has done almost more than 70% of the sales is done by California alone. Okay, so more than 70% of the total sales is done by California alone. And we can see again, Washington also has done a big contribution. I can say around another 15%. That means almost 85% plus Sales is done by the California and Washington from this to this one itself. And apart from that, see, Arizona is just only 35,000, Colorado 32,000. So you can see this is 4,000, this is 1,600. So this is small values. Okay, we have it, something like this. So we can see that in the West region, so we have the maximum contribution coming from the California, and that too we can see it's more than 50%. I can say 60 to 70% of the contribution is done from the California alone. And Washington again has done a very big contribution. Okay, not as that as of this one, but relatively a good contribution. But so less all like small. And when you look into this particular what to say East region, in the East region again we see that New York has contributed almost 50% of the sales is done by New York alone, and then we have the second highest, third highest, and so on. And we see that in the West region, okay, or we say Central region, or we have the maximum contribution from the Texas, but we don't have a kind of outliers what we see it in the West and the East. So we see that West and the East, so they are in the leader quadrant because of they have some kind of a very popular state. So West has California with it, East has New York in it, so they have contributed the highest sales. But when you see the Central, okay, Texas has done the highest sales, but not like very outlier value is not there. 1,70,000. Then we have Illinois and then Michigan, so which is 80 and 76,000 respectively. Okay, and then we see that South region, so almost every states you don't have any kind of outlier, but still Florida has done the highest sales, second is Virginia, and the third is North Carolina, and so on. So this is how they contribution. So is mainly we can see two information here. So which region is done the highest sale? That is one information. And second information is within each region, we are able to see the state-wise how the contribution is done. So we are able to get this multiple informations. So this is where exactly we use a Treemap. Okay. Thank you for this.